All right, it looks like I am live. Oh boy, this is this is going to be very interesting. I hope this turns out well. I really do. I'm actually gonna first wait. Like I know if you guys can hear me, that's awesome. But I have to wait till I can see myself talking. All right, okay, so I can talk. All right, there we go. Uh that's oh boy. It's something very strange to be by yourself in a stream. Like I mean, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. Only time I'm not starting yet. I'm starting at 7:30, like 2, maybe 7:31. But how's everyone doing? That is here. I hope you're all doing well. I'm gonna say that right now. Whoa. This is. By the way, this is something else. By the way, to actually do this, like I've never done a stream so far without anyone else backing me up. Like I've always had other people, and you know, it's something to realize you're by yourself in a chat. Well, not a chat, but just stream wise, I should say. Hey, what's up, Blake? I see you joined. Thank you. By the way, thanks to everyone that's here right now. I really appreciate it. Like, so at least I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Like, even if this doesn't get a whole bunch of views, I at least know that hey, I have several people here watching, so that's always kind of cool. Onisana is not that funny that only 4 people are watching. That's kind of like a little weird. I don't know why you find that funny. All right, so I'm gonna wait probably 2 more seconds, and then I'll start the actual official stream of this. What's up, Jake Lewis? I see you. Thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. All right, so I'm gonna start this off how I've been working this in my head this whole week of realizing I was gonna do this. I'm gonna start this off like I do all my other the anime talks. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Anime Talk, the show where today we are live for the first time, and hopefully not the last time. I mean, hopefully I do this more than just once. I mean, I'm probably going to do this more than once. I'm going to try to see if I can do this a whole bunch of times. It's really just dependent on how many people actually come here and how the outcome is of actually doing something like this live. Because honestly, this is a little bit harder. I mean, I'm used to doing the Anime Talk. This is for everyone to know. I'm used to doing the Anime Talk in a kind of freestyle way of doing it, of course. And what's kind of even more scary though is that if I make mistakes here, I don't get the option to rewind everything. I have to actually then stick with it. So that's what kind of sucks about this. And I'll tell everyone right now that I am exhausted. I have only maybe like an hour and a half of sleep. I'm working off right now just tea. That is my only caffeine that I'm working off of. So yeah, get ready for flubbings and all this other stuff. But anyways, I'll say to you guys right now, you guys and girls in the chat, put down anything you want me to talk about topic-wise. I'm going to be running this thing maybe for like an hour and a half, maybe at the most. If I see like fewer and fewer people, I'll only run it for like an hour and several minutes. But I will be taking anyone's topic. You can bring up anything you want me to talk about anime-wise. Try to understand that I might not get to every single person's topic, which is kind of understandable. And also one other thing is also seeing the chat delayed too is not helpful, but I will try to get over that. See what happens. But until everyone starts putting the topics into the chat, I did already get. Yeah, you could simply Rose. Yes, you can put anything in Anime Talk. It has to be something anime related. I'll take a few questions and answers. I will take a few, but I don't want to do anything that's like super crazy. It has to be something civil and interesting. All right, but I do already have a few anime talks that are anime topics that people want me to do. I'm not going to do all of them. I have a whole bunch of them written down already, though. So the first one comes from King Potato, who we actually put it in my video. What do you think makes anime good for you? Now, I think that's a very subjective concept, to be honest with you guys and girls. I mean, I always feel that to like anime or to feel that it's good is entirely based off of how you perceive what is good, because there's plenty of stuff. Hey, oh, there's King Potato. Hey, I actually am getting to your thing right now, by the way. I just saw you just joined. And what's funny is that anime has always been one of those things that when people say, "Oh, I love this series," or "I hate this series," or anything like that, you have to understand at a conjecture that it has to be that everyone has different tastes. That's the bottom line. It's not one thing or another. It's not like, "Oh, I hate this. I love this." It's more so based off of how you perceive something as good. Do you like what I like? That's not always the case. So I think for everyone, what makes anime good for you is a really kind of subjective type of thing. But it's a good topic, though, in God's truth. It's something that I've always, because I'm always seeing in the anime community, especially, where people go, "Oh, I love this show," and then someone goes, "Oh, I hate that show. That was like the worst show I've ever seen in my life." People flip out on them, and it's like, what the hell? And Memory NK, Jones Barbecue, and Footage Message. That is the strangest thing. That like threw me off completely. I'm not, that's that's so bad. All right. Now, King Potato, you also thought, what are my thoughts on popular anime? Honestly, I've seen a lot of popular anime. I really have. And, the thing about popular anime is that is entirely dependent, again, on the same concept of what makes anime good, because, popular anime is something that you might see 100,000 people say they love this one show, and then a couple, like dozen people say they hate it. And a lot of people flip out on those people. "Oh, you don't have good taste. You go against the trend." Is that really what they're doing, per se? Are they really going against the trend of liking an anime because it's popular? I mean, I'll tell you guys right now, I've actually had one friend of mine, he hated any series that was popular. Any series. No matter what series it was, if it was popular, he would hate it. And ironically, if it became popular, he was like liking the show. So, for example, Bleach was one show that he loved originally when Bleach came out. And guess what? Bleach got popular for a while in the West. He started hating. He's like, "Oh yeah, I hate Bleach now." I'm like, "Dude, why do you hate it?" I just think that it's this and that. I'm like, and then he one day finally admitted. He goes, "Oh, I just hate anything popular." And there are people like that hate anything popular. I mean, honestly, that's just how it is. Oh, I'm looking at the comments real fast. Yeah, no, Kick Potato, it's okay that you're based on opinions, because I think opinions are a really strong anime topic. Honestly, that's one of the biggest things in anime is always opinions. And I think one thing that most people don't do is appreciate one other's opinion. They go, "Oh, I hate your concept of this. I hate that." I'm one of those people. I might disagree with something. I might not like a show, but as long as you respect that I don't like it, I will never disrespect that you like it. I'm like that. So I mean, that's perfectly fine. That was a great anime topic. Now, also, your last one was manga versus anime. That is I think, landmine of a question, honestly. Manga and anime are two different mediums. I've always told people this. Manga is essentially comic books or, graphic novels in that concept. And anime is actual moving animation, of course. Those are two different things. You like to compare them. I know people love to do that all the time. They love comparing manga to anime, always saying, "Oh, a manga is this, and manga is better than anime because it's adapted better and it's better. It's done by more artists and it takes more work, and et cetera, et cetera." The laundry list goes on. But that doesn't say that you can compare it to anime. Technically, you really can't, because they are done different ways. They're done entirely in different ways, and it's almost unfair. So, in my opinion, there is no manga versus anime. It's always been, which one do you like more? Do you like manga? Do you like them equally? Do you like anime more? It's just how it is. Exactly. Yeah, like you said, Kikumoto, that's movies and movie versus books, the same thing. Have you heard any dub other than Japanese and English? Yeah, I have, Onisan. I've actually heard of, I believe, Chinese dub and Korean dub before. I forget the actual anime titles. I hate to say that, but there's only a few out there. There's really not a lot. Um, that's dependent on the series you're watching, because here's the thing: there are some series that you can buy in America that are multi-dubbed. Like they actually have, Chinese and they have French dub and all that, but there's only very, very few. And it's entirely something else. Honestly, if you ever find a series that is multi-dubbed, you definitely should actually like flip your switch on it and actually see what it sounds like, because it's very interesting. There's a lot of times that they don't even sound even close to what the character's doing, and that's just because it's a whole different dub process. Like you can't even compare the English dub or the Japanese dub to even, because what's funny about English dub in general is they do lip flaps a lot, where they actually time everything with lip flaps, and that's one of the things you watch if you watch commentaries on a lot of the Blu-rays and stuff like that, where they talk about how the process is and how it's weird and how they have to actually edit things and edit them lips a little bit and also kind of go along with how the character's talking. So if a character's talking really fast, they have to talk really fast with them. If they're talking slow, they have to talk slow with them. It's like really methodical. A lot of other dubs, though, don't have to worry about that because more so it's kind of not how it works. Like Japanese dub doesn't have to worry about that because they're based off of that. Spanish dub of American movies are funny sometimes, especially if you get the really like low budget movies in general. The dubbing for those are terrible. That applies to anything, by the way. Movie wise, anime wise, it's funny. I agree with you, Jero. It's funny. All right, so I'm looking right now at the chat to see if yeah, Jake Lewis, I agree. A lot of people some people hate Steins Gate ending. They really, really dub. They really, really do. Excuse me. I said dub because I read the next line. I apologize. But yeah, Steins Gate is not for everyone. I tell people that it is one of those shows that's very methodical. It's very psychological. It really deals with a lot of issues and a lot of concepts from Japan that if you don't fully understand the lore of Japan, if you don't fully understand a lot of the concepts from sci-fi fiction movies and novels and stuff like that, you're kind of lost. Like, I'm a huge dire fan of anything time machine related. So I love like the time machine from H.G. Wells and stuff like that. But most people are. I don't want to say everyone's not seen it, but a lot of people haven't seen H.G. Wells stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. Hold on. So you definitely already talked about this, but I have a bad memory. So can you please talk about anime become mainstream, please? No, that's no problem, Rose. I could talk about that. Yeah. Listen, by the way, guys and girls, you could feel free that if I talked about it once before, you could put it in the chat. I'll talk about it again. I don't care. It helps me out because I only have 3 set. I have one more set of actual topics already written down, but I can definitely use more. And that's basically how So this way, if anyone just came in right now, I want more people to type in topics because depending on how well this goes is depending if I ever do this again. Like I would love to do this maybe like every 50 I hit. So the next anime talk being 100, I would do another live stream for that. But if it doesn't do well, it's not anyone's fault per se. It's just maybe I didn't come across the correct way or I didn't do something correct. But it's just that's how it is. I mean, even the date for this is kind of weird, Thursday. But it's the only day I can actually go into my schedule and do that. But yeah, let's talk about mainstream real fast. So as Simply Rose said, anime becoming mainstream is, I always feel like a kind of double-edged sword. Now, the good side of it, we'll talk about that side first. The good side is that anime that becomes mainstream grows in popularity. So, for example, let's take something like Sword Art Online or a series like Death Note or even Attack on Titan. When those started becoming mainstream and started getting really popular in the West, they started doing something really cool where they started branching off and getting merchandise. We started seeing like messenger bags. We started seeing keychains. We started seeing all these items. And what's funny about that is that it does something really kind of fantastical in the sense that you go and you see now your favorite anime, if it is one of your favorites, in all these big name stores like Hot Topic or Barnes and Nobles and stuff like that. And when you see that, that means that the word is getting across that people are seeing for the first time this show and it's actually getting popular. I've met people that have gone to a Hot Topic or Barnes and Nobles for the first time and they go, dude, I saw this one anime, maybe check it out, and I watched it from there. And it just makes the anime grow in popularity, which is a good thing. I mean, it makes it so it makes more money. It makes more seasons come out even in America because then the Japanese side sees, hey, you know what, we have our culture here that's accepting of it because, really first and foremost, it has to be popular in Japan. I know people always think that's not the case, but it has to be popular in Japan. Any anime, any video game, any manga, if that's made in Japan originally, it must do well over there before it can do well over here. And even if it does well over here and doesn't do good over there, we'll never see a second season because they won't do a second season of it. But with popular stuff that comes out in America, there are some times where Japan goes, well, we see that our Western audience really loves this show. Let's keep going with it. And thus we keep getting more stuff and they're not afraid to kind of push the envelope on certain things. Now, the bad thing about it, though, is that I think people get lost sometimes in the mainstream. They don't watch anything then that's not mainstream. I've met people that have never watched anything besides Death Note, Code Geass, Sword Art Online. They've never watched anything besides that because those are just mainstream, and there are plenty of people that just watch only mainstream stuff. So there definitely is a kind of double-edged sword to it. But I mean, it's always a good thing too. At the same time, though, that it is popular, it makes everything more popular. Even the bad criticism makes a show more popular. So it's a good thing. But hopefully that answered your question. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Jiro, I always find it kind of weird Attack on Titan became mainstream myself. Like, I used to talk to people about that solely for the fact that it's such a weird topic that you have, people being eaten by giants and stuff like that. It's something I think it's crazy. And I mean, just the art style is something that's also very different for most people that, typically that's not a thing that they want to. Usama Siduk, I always pronounce your last part of your name wrong, so I apologize, man. But will anime run out? I don't think anime will ever run out. I mean, I think that, even nowadays where anime is very cliche a lot of times, and there's a lot of cliche stuff. I mean, like you can name 100, for example, in Infant Stratosphere, essentially clones of each other. And that just goes to show you, but that's not even just the cream of the crop. There's plenty of other stuff out there that's like that. But I don't think anime will ever run out just for the sole fact that there's so much anime that you can make. There's so many different shows and different series and different concepts and that you can tweak and make into whatever you want. So I mean, I don't think it'll ever run out. Could it run out? Yeah, it could. It really could, but I highly doubt it. It'll probably be years ever runs out. Roswell Elv Mathers, which got your name from, of course, ReZero, sub or dub? Honestly, for me, I know I tell people this all the time, I like dub more. That does not mean I only watch dub. Like, I know people say, oh my God, now unsubscribe or leave the chat. I don't want to see it. There's nothing wrong with liking dub more. I've watched more sub in the past. Like, technically, if you look at my anime list of the 627 something I've seen, 90% of those are more sub than I saw them originally. I just prefer dub because it's a little simpler that, I can turn, I don't have to like stare at the screen. I don't have to watch everything super close. I can get to kind of enjoy the whole screen rather than have to read the text real fast and look up and, look down, look up. So, I mean, that's another concept that I think is based entirely on your own opinion. I notice with people that are just getting into anime, the best thing for them is dub because it's easier to get into dub. But that is entirely more so a kind of conjective thing also. 43G also said, do you watch One Piece? I unfortunately do not watch One Piece. I'm sorry, man. I do not dislike One Piece. I'm not one of those people like, oh, One Piece is horrible. I know, but by any means, I play all the games for One Piece because I do like the lore for One Piece, but I don't watch any of the anime because it's really long, and I'm not super into old anime that's like 600 something plus episodes. I'll be honest with you. Usama also has, will old shows get noticed ever? There are classics but with less important stuff, but it seems worth it for what it is. Old shows are hard for people to get into nowadays. Like, I've met people that have talked about watching Trigun and Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that. They want to watch, excuse me. And the one thing I notice with a lot of people is they go, oh, I would love to watch this series because I think it's awesome and I think it could be something great. But a lot of times they get turned off because it's not, I guess, done in a way that's like brand new anime. It really isn't. And I understand that. I mean, it's old. It's an old style. It's an old format. It's done in a way that's not from our generation from some people. But, for people that are my generation, we grew up on the old stuff, the old classics. I think that if you want to make someone watch an older show, if you like that, that's what you're trying to get at with this, you have to be watching with them. That's one of the things I noticed that really works a lot is make people watch it with you. So this way it's like, oh, you can kind of explain to them why something looks like this or that. And I noticed like with my one friend, I watched, I believe Outlaw Star with them, and that was an older show, and he loved Outlaw Star. And we watched it together because we were watching together. And no, there is no HD in old anime. That is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't do it. Like, I mean, honestly. So let's see what else we got here. Did you watch Mirror Nikki, and what is your opinion? I really loved it, especially because of the plot with the time travel thing. That's from Florian Klein. I love Future Diary. I know it's Mirror Nikki. I always call it Future Diary because it's easier for me. I honestly consider that one of my favorite anime. I think it's on my top 50 list because of how awesome it is. I love how they handle the time travel and the kind of different world line settings. I love anything that deals with that in a good way. Ironically, I hate Big Order because they just ruin everything that was trying to be like Mirror Nikki, and it does it in a completely different way. And I just Big Order sucks. So I'll say that right now. I do love it. Let's see. Old movies that have that mature, yeah, Usama, exactly, because they really do. A lot of the older shows weren't afraid to go to places that newer shows sometimes are kind of like, we don't know if we'll do that or not. I watch, 43G. I do watch Food Wars. I'm going to say Food Wars because I'm never going to try to pronounce it right now. I'm so, like I said, folks, I'm really tired. So pronouncing anything Japanese is kind of out of my forte right now. Hey, what's up, Christina Anime? Ooh. Sorry, by the way, take a sip of my tea. Let's see what else we got for question-wise. By the way, I appreciate it, guys. You're doing a good job of this. This is awesome. I'm having fun with this because of the fact that you guys are all putting down different topics and stuff like that. It's really nice. I really appreciate it. So everyone that's here supporting me right now, you guys are awesome. You really are. Let's see. Yeah, that's only sign I agree with you. Having too many people in the stream also is kind of dangerous, just because I don't know if I could deal with all of that. You're currently a hot mess right now. Okay, well, hopefully, nothing too serious. Yeah, Jero, exactly. Big Order was a good concept, shitty execution. It really, really. Detective Pikachu, let's talk about that, actually, because Pokemon is right now like the news hot topic besides everything that is going on in the world, because everyone's talking about Pokemon Go and stuff like that. The Detective Pikachu movie, I think, is a good idea in many senses for people that love Pokemon. That definitely will do very well. I wonder how they're going to do live action stuff. I mean, it's simple. It should be simple because, honestly, it's Pikachu and it's probably be several other Pokemon. It probably won't be that hard to do a live action of that because, I mean, you can make good CGI creatures and stuff like that. It's been done a million times in anime. I definitely think that'll be an interesting movie. I'll probably watch it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Pokemon anymore because I kind of grew out of it. But, I mean, I still, appreciate where it came from. Let's see. Will high quality stay in anime? My opinion is that, high quality will always be something that is also subjective if you think about it, Usama. For the sheer fact that high quality is something that is entirely based off of what the anime is based off of. Because, for example, since Jake Lewis mentioned Unlimited Blade Works and all that, Ufotable does some really high quality stuff, quote unquote high quality, and they really make a really good job of doing it. It has a lot of beautiful art style, has a beautiful fight scenes, it just has a quality to it. And then there's stuff like Ping Pong, which, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Ping Pong, I'll be honest with you guys and girls, but Ping Pong was huge because it did something where it doesn't look that good, but the story and the interesting elements that were there that made people watch it. And can you really call Ping Pong high quality? I mean, it's crazy. So I don't know. High quality will definitely be around. I think that it will be something, though, that is definitely subjective, and it will be something that, we'll have to see how far technology goes, because I'm confident enough that we could make better stuff. I really do. I mean, we've seen better things. We can do it. It's just that, will it happen? I don't know. By the way, let me know. It goes, anime will be 3D by 2040. I don't know if I want to see anime in 3D. I'll be honest with you. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it depends on what anime is being done in 3D. Because 3D already is kind of still a, mixed bag thing in movies. So it has to be done in a very big way. You said, no, I'm not a big fan of Ping Pong, but I'm a bigger fan of that is. I'm not repeating the whole line. That is funny, though. Live. Okay, that's a good one, Usama. Also, I'll put that one in. Then I'm gonna go to one of the Triborough. I asked me several questions. I'm gonna go to that. So keep putting your topics in. Like I said, guys and girls, I might not be able to get to everyone's topic. I apologize in advance because I'm already kind of seeing so many different topics. That's really good, but it's also kind of hard to keep up by myself. I'll be honest with you. So, can live action adaptations really help the anime manga industry, like saving money and giving more budget to companies and artists? That is entirely dependent on two things. One is the live action done in a good way, because live action already has a kind of stigma against it, where people are like, "Oh, live action is that's gonna probably be shit." With the Ghost in the Shell, for example, or the Full Metal Alchemist movie that's coming out. Those are big hot topic things that people are talking about right now. They're saying, oh my god, they look terrible, we're not going to watch them. And already you're kind of pushing away from that, meaning that they're not going to get a lot of views. They're not going to get a lot of money or revenue, which I'm not saying it per se hinders anime. I'm not going to say that right now, but it doesn't help it either, because essentially it depends on where the money's coming from. Is the money coming from the studios that developed, those movies, those anime originally, or is it coming from a kind of third party system where then they're just making a movie based off of that? And that's a big thing. I mean, that's really important to kind of take into fact. If the anime live action does really well, it really helps the actual anime that it's based off of, because a lot of people then go, oh, let me go check out that source material if they haven't already, or they will buy the merchandise, because the merchandise will still be under the kind of guise of the actual stuff. So I mean, it does in that sense. So it does work for the most part. It also could not work though. It just really depends on a lot of things. Also, actually, if I think about a third thing too, is how much money is kind of pumped into a live action, because I hate to say it, a lot of live action movies aren't as big budgeted as a lot of Hollywood movies. People think that, but there's a lot of times they don't even use a quarter that we use in terms of like millions and billions of dollars on certain movies. So it's really dependent. It really is. So let's see what's can you or someone in the chat recommend anime some of the regular Magic High School? That's hard. That is hard. I mean, there's a few that I could think of, but I can't think of the names off the top of my head, which is kind of retarded, to be honest with you. So I apologize. I'm pretty sure someone can, though. Let's see what else we got. All right, so I'm gonna actually go to Triboro. Tribo Power. He left several comments that because he couldn't be here today for the live stream. So, I'm gonna do some of his things. So why are there so many harems in the industry of anime? That is an easy topic. That really is. Harems are one of the biggest selling things in Japan. I know people might hate it in the States. They might not understand harems and ecchi and all that. You have to understand that Japanese culture, harems and anything with fan service does a lot better than it does in the West side. So, ironically enough, it might be a lot in the industry, but people love that there's so much harem, and at least especially in Japan, they love that there's so many different harems that they could kind of choose from and go with, because there's so many different types of girls that they could look at in the anime and stuff like that. So that is a thing that some people might say there's not enough harems in the industry, which I mean, I'm not one of those people. I'll be honest with you. I'm on the mix. I like harems when they're done right, but they have to be really done right. Like I love stuff like Amagi SS, which if you guys have never heard of it, that's a series that's based off of concept where the main character gets with one of several girls, but not all at one time. But more so, once he gets with a girl, they play out the whole story, and then it does kind of like a virtual novel thing where it kind of goes back to the beginning, a visual novel, where it goes back to the beginning and then shows what would happen if he would have got with this girl, what would happen if he went with that girl. So I mean, harems could be done very good. Shuffle was a great harem. And Fruit of Gersaya, which Oni-san just announced right there, that was a great harem that I think was done very well because it was mature. It was something that was very different. Is there any dinosaur animes? That's a good one. I don't know if there's any dinosaur animes, to be honest with you. I think Gone, which came out in like the 80s, I think is considered a dinosaur anime. So definitely Gone. It's Gon, by the way, if you need it spelled out. I don't know of any others off the top of my head. I know there's a few. I do know there's a few, but I don't know of any besides Gone. I am looking. People get over Ajin's CGI, which is pretty irritating, but that's understandable because Ajin's CGI is pretty bad, to be honest with you. Dinosaur King. Dragon Ball. Yeah, Dragon Ball did have dinosaurs. Yes, it did. But they weren't really the main central point of the show. I mean, honestly, the dinosaurs disappear in Dragon Ball after like several hundred episodes. It seems like, so they're not the main focus of it. I mean, they show up in Dragon Ball Z in a few parts and stuff like that. They also show up in Dragon Ball GT too, but no, it's not one of the focal points. 43G, do you have a theory on how Saitama from One Punch Man got his powers? Honestly, my theory has always been one of two things. Like, I've always been kind of split with this in my own head. That's a good topic, by the way. I do appreciate that. I like it a lot. Saitama, we see that he trained a lot. So the concept could be that he became so powerful because he trained his body. And I understand that sounds kind of, ridiculous. Like, can anyone train their body so much that they could beat giant dinosaurs and giant creatures with one punch, essentially? But, I think they're going from a more methodical method of thinking that, if you train your body strong enough, that you train hard and you do everything you try to do your best, that your mind goes over your matter, of course, and then you're able to do stuff like that. So it's understandable that's possible. What's up, Coin Operator? I see you joined. How you doing, man? My other theory for One Punch Man is that he has like a kind of, I want to say, a special ability that's more so hidden inside of him that only awakened as he kept training. So that's why he became so powerful. That theory has less, I think, relevance than the other one, but it would make sense more so why he's able to punch everything with one punch and kick everyone's ass. So I mean, Christina Amby goes, why does K-drama always have two guys in love with a girl? In Japan, they have two girls in love with a guy and fan service. Because they are definitely different, actual places on the earth. Korean drama does not go off the same concepts as Japan, Japanese drama or J drama. They are two different things entirely. And by the way, no problem for 43G. I hope you liked those answers. I mean, honestly, I'm actually going to do probably an anime talk one of these days about that. But that's going to be more so, I think, a further thing because I want to think about more of those. I want to really develop that because I do like those theories I've had for them already. But I want to see if I can actually find any little tidbits of information inside the show in the manga to actually kind of go with either one of them. But anyways, go back to Christine Anime's topic. Yeah, two guys in love with one girl in Korea is a thing because they find it more so a love triangle is more so based off of the two guys fighting for the girl's love. In Japan, because most guys do not have the, I think, love triangle that we see all the time in dramas and stuff like that, they want the two girls fighting them. They want the kind of like harem-esque thing in their mind, like, oh, I'm so popular that I have two girls fighting for my love and my dominance. That's understandable because they're two different cultures. In Korea, like I said, it's more so a male domination in terms of the concept. They want to have it where they are doing that. They want the show that, oh, hey, listen, I'm stronger than you. I'm better than you. And thus they're fighting for the one girl. So it's understandable. That's interesting. Well, hey, listen, that's everything for different people. Someone said the cancer thing would explain the hair loss for Saitama. But then why is he so strong then? Because that would make no sense. Will High School DxD ever get another season, by the way? Rose Old Mother says. Honestly, probably. I mean, they've already been talking about doing a final season to it. I mean, I just don't know if that's, relevant or if it's just rumor. Can light novels get more good adaptations? That's entirely, again, based off of how well the light novel does. I think for any topic that you guys may ever ask me or ask anyone in the anime industry, especially if you're looking at the Japanese industry, one of the most important things for them is how they sell their manga and light novels because that's essentially what they are basing the anime off of. Anime is a secondary thing. I know people go, well, anime is so big over there, but it's always a secondary thing to compare to light novels and manga. It's always something that is on the back burner of everything else. So what they do is if a light novel does very well, they will adapt it according to how well it's doing. So example, Harumi Suzumiya, the melancholy of that, the melancholy of Harumi Suzumiya. And by the way, I know it's pronounced her last name wrong. I've always been like that since reading it when I was younger. That series did so well in Japan. I mean, it became huge in Japan. It really did. Because it became so big in Japan, what they ended up doing was they actually took the money that they got from the light novels and, of course, made a good adaptation. They got a good studio for it, and they really worked hard on it. So what's interesting about it is that, yeah, you see that the more money that was funded into the light novel, the better the actual anime came out. In the case of something like even Attack on Titan manga was done very well. It was super popular. Thus, the anime came out and it had a lot of money behind it. Something like 100, by the way. 100 is a light novel series also. Did not have a huge following. It's very, I want to say, a weaker kind of light novel series. I mean, it's selling well enough that it keeps going, but it's not selling well enough that it keep going past making a good anime series. By the way, Simply Rose, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. You're awesome. Go check her out, by the way. Go check her channel out. She's awesome. I think she just hit 2,000 subscribers too recently, so congratulations on that. So yeah, it's really just based off of how well the light novel does. It really does. And if it doesn't do, or the manga in my case, because sometimes the manga, is also the only thing that it's no light novel for it at all. If the manga doesn't do that well, they're not going to spend a lot of money. It's understandable too. If you don't have a lot of money to go back into, it's like essentially you pitching an idea. For example, like say you made a new item, something you think is really cool, and you go, here's my item. This is what it does. They'll be like, okay, have you sold this anywhere yet? Have you done anything with it yet? Does anyone really see the item being something that they want to buy? And if they don't see that, they can't sell it, unfortunately. And that's just how it is. So the same thing. Usama Zeragetto is getting an adaptation of anime. I heard from the Anime Man, according to his video. They are making an anime apparently next year for it, so I'm looking forward to that. I love the light novels for that. Unfortunately, America only got 2 of them. I hate that. I really do. But because Japan, it's almost done, I think. All right, let's before you get to yours 43G, because I saw you put one down. I'm gonna see if anyone put anything else before that. Let's see. Sorry if I don't want to make dead noise. By the way, it's just that the fact that I'm looking through the chat, which is always interesting. You guys are crazy. I swear to God. Erased was something that I felt could have been better. I'll be honest with you. It's not that it was bad. I'm not saying that by any means. 43G. It wasn't bad. It's just that Erased had 2 issues with it. First off, any murder mystery, because I'm a huge fan of murder mysteries. I love anime that's murder mysteries. I love manga that's murder mysteries. They have to have mystery. Like everyone by the second episode knew who the bad guy was for the series. Like we all made guesses on it because there's only 2 people that could have been. And it's like, well, out of these 2 people, which one's the murderer? You figure it out. Oh, it's that guy. So it's already lost that big element. And, because of that reason, there you go. Erased was not that great. Unfortunately, it kept kind of going by the ropes of its concept. They kept hoping that the concept would make it keep getting better and better. Unfortunately, cannot do that because of, time travel in anime, time going to the past and rechanging thing, it's been done before. So it's entirely based off of how they do it from there. You lost your mystery element. You lost the concept of it. So it was never going to do that well, unfortunately. That's the bottom line to it. The manga wasn't bad, but even then, it wasn't that great. To be honest with you. That's Florian Klein asked me, how did I come up with the name BladeNinja? Honestly, this is gonna sound stupid, and I've seen, by the way, and I'm not the only one that made BladeNinja. But I've seen people copy my name because the thing is that I made my name on YouTube in 2007 or 2008. I made the name BladeNinja. Now I think someone in 2014 and 13 has the same name, BladeNinja, but I'm like, you technically did my name later, so I consider you copying my name. I came up with that just because at the time I loved swords and I loved ninjas. Honestly, fused it together. I know it sounds really stupid, but it was that simple. It really was. Yeah, good ending for anime was Angel Beats. Roswell, I will say right now though, it depends on which ending because the main ending for the show was awesome. The kind of side ending where it was like a different epilogue entirely, I really wasn't a fan of. I really didn't like how they did that. So the main ending of Angel Beats was awesome. The last ending. You have Christina Anime has an issue with Angel Beats because the swords lacks the relationship of Kanede and red-haired guy. Honestly, I think it was kind of nice because you actually got to see those two, in another life together. I think that was nice. I'll be honest with you. All right, so I'm going to do another one of Tribo Power's topics. I'm trying to actually look because he gave me like 5 topics. I'm not going to be able to do all of them. What makes a great character? And I'm going to do the other one also. What old anime is just way better than recent stuff? Why is old anime so much better than the recent stuff? I'm actually going to start off with that one. Why old anime is so much better? I actually don't agree with that. I think that old anime in many ways is better in the sense of what they did for the time period. Like, I mean, the 90s of anime was awesome. Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Outlaw Star, all those things were, they're the easy ones to name off the top of my head. There's even more. There's Oh My Goddess and stuff like that. Blue Gender, Blue Seed. I'm trying to think of like a million. Guyver, Berserk, the original Berserk. Those are all really good. Those are all really good. They were all well done because they were something that was spectacular for the time. They were something that was not done for the time. Nowadays, a lot of what exists nowadays has been done so many times. Like back to the harem stuff. You've seen the harems before. You've seen the kind of time travel stuff. You've seen, the robots and stuff like that. And it isn't that it's bad. It's just that now it takes a lot more to make an anime great because of the fact it's just like anything else. As an author myself, as someone who writes books all the time and stuff like that, it is hard to make something original because it's been done before in some kind of stretch or imagination. There are no ideas per se that are kind of super original, and even if they start off original, they kind of have to rely somewhat on cliches here and there because that's what kind of furthers them and makes them stronger as stories and shows in general. But it's just the way it is that I don't think old anime is better. I just think it had something to it that made it better in some senses. But there is some great stuff nowadays that has come out. I mean, like Clanad was from nowadays. Angel Beats, of course. I'm actually looking around to actually look in my room for stuff because I cannot think off the top of my head of anything, which is really terrible. Spicy Wolf from this time period, stuff like that. Those are all shows that are really awesome, and they're brand new. And also, what makes an anime character great? I think what makes an anime character great, again, another kind of conjecture-based thing. It's more so based on your own opinion of it. For me, what makes an anime character great is they have to be well done, written-wise. I think a lot of issues I have with anime characters nowadays, especially main characters like in Hundred, stuff like that, is they flip-flop too much. I want a character that's based off of one thing and grows as, the situation makes him do it. Also, see you later, Coin Operator. Thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it, man. Really. But, a main character can grow. You can grow naturally. That's nothing wrong with that. Because everyone in general, even if you're 20 years old, even if you're 15, if you're 30 or 40, you can grow as a human being as time goes by. And you could adapt things, here and there. But your whole way of thinking doesn't always change so dramatically. And a lot of times anime characters, they flip-flop too much. That's my biggest issue with a lot of characters. They should not flip-flop all the time. You should have it where either they're this way and kind of because the situation makes them that way, it's understandable, but not because, this happened all of a sudden, nah, I'm going to be like this, I'm going to flip-flop like this now. You have to be steady. You have to be done in a steady concept, a steady mindset. It's like you have to write the character in advance and know how he's going to play out. And that's one thing I always tell people, by the way. If you're one of those people that's looking to make books and all that, to make a story, write your character and then wrap everything else around that character. It really helps out. But let's see what else. I saw some questions before. I do hopefully do not miss the ones that I actually did want to actually answer. I am looking between this. By the way, I have felt sad watching Angel Beats and Your Line April. I have. It's understandable. Those shows are sad as shit. What type of books do you read, Blade? Or what type of books do you write? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You spelled it right like the other way. I'm sorry about that. I am a huge fan of sci-fi and anything more so psychological. Now, I'm not saying sci-fi like, starships in the sky and, I'm saying more so stuff that's future gadget-based. Like a story I wrote not that long ago. I'm not going to go into super details because I don't want people copying it per se. I'm kind of terrified of that. But it had the concept where someone was put to sleep into a machine and their memories and their stuff had to be redone essentially from inside the machine, having someone else teleport inside their memory, showing up to kind of guide them to where they had to go. So this way they would wake up and realize what had happened in the course of their lifetime. So this way they would be able to even waken at all and have their memories that they had. I love writing stuff like that because I think psychological stuff that messes with your mind a little bit, the thought process, at least for me, that's why I love psychological anime, is one of the hardest things to do is mess with people's minds. It's one of the hardest things to do. When you do it successfully, though, it is something that you can make even anything more terrifying. You cannot do anything scarier than messing with someone's mind, their kind of comfort zone, the kind of control that they have over a situation, or kind of the thought process, the synopsis, the ways they think, the ways they move. You alter that. It's terrifying to me. Like, I mean, if you lose control over what makes you you, that's scary. That really to me. So that's why I like writing stuff like that. I do like fantasy. I do like romance stuff. I don't write those all the time because I'm not that great with fantasy. I'm decent with romance. Oh, excuse me. I am looking at what do you think of C? Is that C Control or C? Yeah, C3. I have actually C3. I started watching once. I just stopped it, so I can't say what I think of it yet. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's okay. I'm looking to see if you guys have any more comments. I'm gonna keep this going, by the way, for another 15 minutes. Honestly, because my voice is also giving out. Like I never thought talking for an hour and a half would be so tiring on my voice. I've already gone through this whole glass of tea, just keeping my voice like kind of hydrated. Oh boy. By the way, if you guys don't worry, if you don't have another topic, I have one more topic from Tribord Power that I wanted to do. Why can't good seinen manga can't have proper adaptations? You know, with stuff like Berserk, for example, that's because that's one of his topics. Let's go and talk about Berserk real fast because I did a whole anime talk on that, so I'm not going to do a super detailed talk of Berserk. But if you want to do that, go watch that anime talk. I think it's number 47, around that 48. But Berserk is something that you have to like any seinen move or film or anything anime wise. It has a very kind of particular age group. You know, adult anime viewers are, I think there's a lot more adult anime viewers than teenagers. But I notice when they make, you know, anime in general, they kind of cater to both crowds. They don't cater just to adults, they cater to teenagers also. So they have to make sure that they realize, oh, this is how we're going to do that. This is how we're going to go. Okay, we have to make sure that this works and this works and this works. You know, and I know that sounds kind of weird. Like, what do you mean exactly by that? But what I mean by what is just meticulous. They have to be very meticulous on how they kind of formulate it because they can't have, you know, an adult anime made having just pure bloodshed and pure destruction, all that. In this day and age, those things are kind of, you know, trip mine type things. You don't want to walk over those issues and have to deal with that. So it's a big gamble to do that. They always have to watch what they do and they kind of mind their P's and Q's. So it's understandable why they can't have good adaptations. I think they can, in the sense if they don't care what their age group is, if they're trying to go for the adults, if they know that they're going for adults only, they can do that. But then they just have to realize that they can't formulate the anime, they can't put it on TV for anyone younger than a certain age. So it's a risk. It really is. By the way, I will ask in the chat right now, and this is depending highly on your answer. So please write this yes or no. It's simple as that. Do you guys want me to go for another half hour? At 8:30, so one at 8:30 they'll end at 9. That's entirely up to you. I mean, I could keep going until 9. I really could if you want that, but that's also really entirely based off you. So I want to see yes or no's. By the way, and don't feel bad if you write no. It's not a big deal. I'll say that right now. You can write no. It's not gonna I'm not gonna flip out. All right, so we got one yes. We got a sure yes. Okay, well, you guys are making me smile. By the way. Oh, that's a good one, Jiro. If you could make an anime, what would it be about? That's a good one. I like it. Holy crap. All right, so yeah, okay, so it looks like I'm going to say the yays have it. I mean, you guys want me to go till 9? I'll go tonight, so I'll go for another, 42 minutes? If my math is good? Yeah, 42 minutes. Yeah, it's not that I am tired. I've been tired this whole time, but surprisingly able to talk and not flub my words too much. I don't know how. Like, I was talking before. You guys should have saw it. When I was in my car, I was talking to my dad about something, and I was constantly flubbing everything I was talking about. And I was like, oh, my God, I have to do a stream. Oh, my God, how am I going to do this when I'm talking like this? All right, don't worry, 43G. If you leave, it's not a big deal, man. I appreciate you coming here. I mean, I don't know who you are from the most part because, I mean, I think you're new to my channel. I presume you are. If you've been around for, I apologize in advance, but I appreciate it nonetheless, man. Any support helps me. It really does. But anyways, let's go back to Jiro's question. What anime would I make? If I made an anime, I would do a romance anime. I would do a romance because I want to do more so a psychological romance. I know it sounds kind of weird, but well, always not go to sleep if it's 2 o'clock in the morning for you. I don't know why you don't apologize. I don't feel bad. I mean, that's if anyone has to go, just go. You can watch the rest of it later. It's not like it's gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, so it'll be here. You can watch the rest 30 minutes. I doubt much is gonna happen unless something crazy happens. So don't feel bad. Really, it's not a big deal. I appreciate you being here at 2 o'clock in the morning for you. That's awesome. But anyways, yeah. If I made a thing, I make romance psychological. I know that's kind of weird, but I would love to see if you could do something like the thought that I had on my book series, like the one I wanted to do. If you could make that into an anime, that would be really interesting, because I think it'd be interesting to see how a character deals with various things in their life, kind of getting guided by someone they love or someone they think they loved at one time or something like that. So it'd be interesting. Roswell, you could you'll stay with me until then, man. I appreciate it, man. Got my back. I appreciate it. So hopefully that answers your question, though, Jiro. Can good live action series get an anime adaptation like The Ring or Ju-on? I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible. I really don't. Um, I'll have to say this right now. A lot of those shows have gotten adaptations in the manga sense. They have. I know. I don't think. Well, I don't think The Ring got one, but I know Ju-on got a type of adaptation of manga somewhere along the lines, and it was kind of cool. And by the way, that's The Grudge. If you guys know only by the American name. What's interesting is that I think it's possible. It just has to be really big. Like, I mean, that live action would have to be something that's really it has to become mainstream. It really does. And that's the problem. I don't know if many live actions ever become mainstream. I think there's a few out there, but there's not many. So definitely entirely based off of that, I hate to say. What are your top 3 fantasy, mystery, romance animes? So Florian, you want my top 3 of each category? That's a bit much. I mean, honestly, romance anime, Clanad, Your Line April, Dusk Made Amnesia. I love those 3 romance. Mystery, Kenichi's Case Files I like a lot. I read the manga for that more than else, though. So I don't know if that counts, but I do love that. I want to see the anime. I've seen some of it already. It looks really good. Higurashi and Umineko. I know those are kind of like, that's a kind of cop-out because they're the same thing, but they are different series entirely too at the same time. So, I mean, it's not really that much of a cop-out. And fantasy-wise, a lot of fantasy, man. Oh, my God. I love a lot of fantasy stuff. For right now, I really love ReZero, of course. That's fantasy-based. I have to look at stuff that's now in my house that's freaking fantasy. You're making me answer the hard questions in life. I do like Fate's New Night. I think Fate's New Night could be considered as fantasy in many ways. And I love, what else do I love? Berserk, the original Berserk and the movies and stuff like that. All right, let's see what else we got. Can I ask, what is a good anime that is similar to Hunter x Hunter or Berserk? And that's from Nazir the 12th. Whew, that's a good one. There aren't, Berserk, I would say Claymore. And I'm being honest with you, I'm kind of almost iffy on saying Claymore too at the same time, because Claymore is a better manga than it is, anime, I think. But Berserk anime is not bad. Claymore anime is not bad at all. It's very well done. Hunter x Hunter, honestly, people that love Hunter x Hunter love One Piece and stuff like that. So I mean, you're probably shonen stuff you want to stay with if you're a fan of that stuff. With which anime character would you compare yourself with? 43G, that is the hardest question I think I've been asked all day. One character I thought of recently, and it's all because I watched this anime recently, so I'm not sure if he's 100% me, but this character from Kokoro Connect, I forgot his name. I know he's the one who likes wrestling. I don't like wrestling. That's the only thing that we can't compare it to. But he's one of those people that he likes to help people a lot, even though sometimes helping people hurts him in the process. I'm not trying to brag or boast or anything like that. I'm one of those people. I help people a lot. And sometimes I take on a little more than I could chew in helping people. And so it's, it's kind of like it hinders me at times. It helps me at times to help people, to do stuff for them. But it's definitely someone I compare myself with. So let's see. What else we got? You know what, TG? It's not that I dislike wrestling. It's just I've never been a fan of it, honestly. It's not that I'm like, because I know a lot of my friends. Some of my best friends are huge wrestling fans. Honestly, does not mean I hate wrestling, but it's like, it's a definite thing right there. What else have we got? By the way, if I do run out of questions, though, I'll probably have to end it. So I'll be honest with you, because I don't know if I can keep going with just random talk. I don't know if anyone wants me to talk about random stuff. Be kind of weird. I mean, honestly, that's just. You know what's funny? I don't even know how this is doing so far. I hope it's doing well. Guess we'll find out later, right? Did you watch the anime movie? Horibito no Mori. Oh man, I do not know if I've watched that. I'll be honest with you. I really, it's like keep asking questions, guy. Yeah, that would help me. I'll be honest with you because I'm running out of stuff like I can do. That's one thing that I was entirely basing this off of is the chat doing that. That's a good one. Let me know. Will ReZero ever get a complete adaptation? Honestly, it depends on how fast the light novels finish in comparison of how fast the anime finishes. Because honestly, to me, if the light novel finishes and the anime keeps going on and on and on and on, it won't have a complete thing. It really won't. But excuse me, if it does really well and they're able to keep going and kind of pumping out the light novels at the same time, yeah. Roswell Mathers again. You watched Zero? Yeah, I watched Familiar of Zero. I love Familiar of Zero. Familiar Zero is really good. I'll be honest with you. I think there are a few seasons that are not that great, but like I think was it not this? Is it season 2 or is it season 3 of Familiar Zero that's not that good? To me, at least. When do you think Steins Gate Zero will come out? Let me know. Oh my god, I'll be honest with you. Probably by the end of this year. Excuse me. Because already they've talked about it being released out there. By the way, I'm sorry my voice is getting lost. I'm actually losing my voice a little bit. Woo, that's crazy. I think the most I've ever talked in one thing was an hour. I had to do that for my top 50. Oh my god. I'll tell you guys right now that short story. That's kind of like a secondary thing to everything. When I did my top 50 anime way back when, I lost my voice doing that. I really did. And that was fun. I lost it for like a whole day. Aaron, do you want a Nekopara anime? Isn't Nekopara getting? Yeah, it's getting an anime adaptation, Oni-san. Is there a manga you would want to be adapted into an anime? Huh. That's a good one. I don't think I've seen too many manga that have not. Oh, you know what? Probably I would like to see adapted into an anime. The Breaker. Because I love The Breaker. I think it's a great, great thing. So, I mean, definitely would love to see that. I did not steal my voice from the Rad Brad. You know what's funny? I saw the Rad Brad way back when, and I don't think I sound like him, but, that's because I hear my own voice and I don't hear it that way. So, I don't know how it sounds to other people. So, I guess if I do sound like that, Nekopara is awesome. Yeah, I didn't play the games. I watched a lot of people do Let's Plays of it. But, yeah, I would love The Breaker as a actual anime series. But that's a manhwa. I don't know how they would do as an anime series because a lot of times manhwas don't translate to the best anime. To be honest with you, like I don't know if any of you have seen the Outcast. I think it is. That's I think that's a Chinese manga. That's our Chinese online thing. That's actually also a Korean manhwa. That series is a mixed bag. I'll tell you right now. It's about zombies, and it sounds interesting, but it's not that interesting, unfortunately. It really is not. 20. I never knew Rem liked Neko. There's a pic. Oh, if you guys see it, the Crunchyroll store. I said stole. The Crunchyroll store actually has a wall scroll of ReZero out right now, and it actually has Rem holding a cat, which is kind of weird. It has like 2 people holding a cat. Also, Amelia's holding a cat. I'm like, would you ever do a Let's Play stream or YouTube? I don't know. And by the way, Jiro, can you mean what you mean VOD? I think video on demand, but I don't know. That sounds stupid, right? But Let's Play stream, I don't know. It highly depended on how I can get my setup because I don't have a good setup when it comes to a lot of things. My computer is not that great. My setup in general is very hard. Aaron, I thought manga is only based on Japanese comics. No, there's manga out. Manhwas are Korean comics, and then you have Chinese manga technically, which is like Chinese comics, of course. But there's a lot of different ones. What is the most overhyped anime? You're making me go into dangerous territory. I'm gonna go into it in a second. But what is 43D? Can you give me the English title for that, by the way? Because I don't actually know what that is. off the Japanese one. I think I've seen that already. I really don't know though. But what is the most overhyped anime? Erased. That's one of the most overhyped anime. I'll be honest with you, because Erased is hyped up to be this great show, and it's not that great. It's okay. I don't know why people love Erased so much. I mean, it's kind of died out as time goes by, but and then if you want a secondary one, I think Sword Art sometimes is kind of overhyped. I mean, I love the games for it. I love the light novels, but I do not per se love the anime. I think the anime is okay. Blade, pick 3 anime and 3 different manga you completed, compare them, and try to create a story combining them. Do what now? I can't do that live stream. That'd be too complicated. I mean, I could do that if I was typing it out, but I'm not typing it out. Let's see, 3 anime and 3. No, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm sorry. Too hard. You give me a tough one. Sorry. You actually, and I said this actually. I said this in my my announcement video for my live stream, that I was gonna make mistakes or not be able to do certain things on the actual stream, and that's one of them. I think it's too hard. Erase was overhyped because it was a slow season. Yeah, well, and only thing is it's one season, unless they actually make another season, which I mean I've heard mixed conjectures about, but yeah, Usama, you won technically. I mean, if I could type it, I'd win it. Trust me, if I could actually type the whole thing, I would do it. And what's up, Anime Atlas? Appreciate you could be here, man. Into the Forest of Fireflies. Oh, I've heard of that. I've actually always wanted to check that out. I will definitely do a review of that one of these days, man. I will do that. So definitely look out for that. That's the one where the guy was stuck on an all-girls island. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I read the manga for a little bit of it. I didn't finish it though. That's good to see you too, man. I appreciate you coming over here to support me out. Really do. You know, Christina Anime, I kind of agree with you. The anime adaptation of Orange. You know what's weird about it? It's not that it's bad. It doesn't have the same kind of like oomph that the manga had, or maybe. And to me, I think also because I finished the manga like a week prior to the anime starting, I think it's just that I didn't want to actually go and watch Orange. More so, I just kind of wanted like, I'll put it to the side. I was thinking I would do that. Do you write scripts, take notes, or just wing anime reviews? I wing anime reviews, man. I'm freestyle. You know, I'll explain this to everyone that doesn't know this. So if you're new to my channel, if you're in the chat somewhere, or if you're just watching, you're not typing, I freestyle everything. Even when I write books and write stories, I freestyle all of that. I will write notes for characters later on after I've like freestyled the first like 100-something pages, seems like, so I can remember everything in a little detail about it. But yeah, I typically freestyle everything I do. Have you watched the anime where there's a ghost in the woods and there was a young kid? It goes in the sun. I've heard of it. I don't know what the name of it is. I've heard of it though. Ghost in the Shell doesn't. I don't know if I want to continue mentioning Ghost in the Shell, honestly, man. Because Ghost in the Shell has been so long. Was I have to go now? It's 3 a.m. Yeah, dude. No, listen, man. I appreciate it. Will I do another live stream? Highly dependent. I will always announce like on Twitter. So follow me on Twitter if you want BladeNinja009, or just keep out for my actual channel itself, because I will actually sometimes post if I'm going to do a live stream. I always announce like a week, 2 weeks prior, so this way gives plenty of time for people to say, oh, it works and doesn't work for them and stuff like that. Dude, yes, no, welcome back, man. But yeah, don't, I don't know when I will do another live stream though. It's live streams are hard to do by myself, and I typically want other people to join with me a lot of times, but it's also hard getting a lot of people to join. Ghost in the Shell had a movie, yeah, the new one that's based off of the Rise series. Ghost in the Shell is long as shit, man. Honestly, like Ghost in the Shell, sometimes I think it's a little too long. Like I love the original stuff. I love second gig. But honestly, the new stuff is like hit or miss for me. Standalone Complex is what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the one. Standalone Complex is the best one I think of any of the Ghost in the Shells, honestly. I think it had the best action, the best story, best art out of all of them. And that's the older one of all the Ghost in the Shells. Like the new one art style's okay for it. It's not that great, surprising enough. I don't know why. I feel like it's like could have been better. Yeah, every long series is something that people either say they love it or hate it. It's understandable because long stuff is like It's a risk. I think that's a good topic to go off of. Is long running stuff is hard for people to like, only because people have. It's not this is not to make fun of anyone, but people have generally short attention spans when it comes to like series. A series that has a very long kind of base. If they start it at the very beginning, they will follow to the end. They really will. Because I'm notorious. I've done that before in the past too. Case closed. I followed for a long time before I kind of gave it up. But a lot of stuff, if I've started from the beginning and it's really long, I'll keep going with it because I think it's easier to kind of take in one episode at a time every week. But when series are like 3 seasons in or 3 years in or whatever, and you're starting to just get into it, then it's harder to take in because either you're binge watching it and you're kind of getting tired of it, you're getting like overfilled with the series, or you just can't find that kind of drive to watch a series that is already like 300, 400 episodes. And I'll be honest with you guys and girls, I say this right now, and I don't care if I'm insulting anyone by saying this. If you watch a 390 episode show, or if you watch a 600 whatever, and you skip like 30 episodes just because they're filler, quote unquote, I don't consider you completing the series. I'll be honest with you, I really don't, because I think you're cheating. So I mean, I know it pisses some people off, but it's just the truth. After One Piece manga ends, will the industry get worse? But maybe the hype will last more after. Well, maybe it's just done. I don't know if the manga industry will suffer that much, but it will have a kind of, like, I want to say, kind of cascade effect. You'll see a little bit of an issue, and that's because One Piece does sell very well. Like, the manga sell amazingly well, both in the States and in Japan. The problem with One Piece, though, is that once it ends, it's going to have a trickle effect where it's going to cause other manga to kind of slow down a little bit. But at the same time, people will then find other things to watch or read in that case. So they will want to find other things to read. And depending on what series they pick up next, that series will do very well. So in the case of like maybe something like I'm not saying Bleach for this example, but something like Bleach, people might go to that because it's so long and be like, oh, okay, well, One Piece is done. Let me go read that now. Let me see how this is. So it's gonna hurt the manga industry for a little while, but it won't hurt it that bad. The last anime binge I did. Oh boy. I'm trying to think of the last anime series I've binged the whole thing in a couple days. I think it was no, it wasn't Evangelion. Was it Higurashi? I think it was Higurashi, honestly. Higurashi, I believe I finished that all in one shot. Like, I mean, I did that maybe essentially, took me like 2 days. Real Life, I don't consider me finishing Real Life in one shot. I mean, it took me a couple days. Most people finish Real Life, though, in one day, if you think about it, because I still don't think that was a good idea, by the way. I'm still a firm believer that making a whole series in one shot available is not the best idea in the world. It doesn't have impact. No Game, No Life. Yeah, hopefully that movie's good. I keep hearing bad things about the movie next year. Like, it's not going to have Shiro and what is it? Shiro and I can't think of the other character's name. Shiro. Can someone help me, by the way, in the chat? Who are the 2 characters for No Game, No Life? It's Shiro and Sora. There we go. Never mind. I just realized it's Sora. Yeah, it's not going to have them in the movie, apparently, so. Grabs word here, Higurashi. How did it ruin your life? I'm curious, Christina. I mean, what's your story behind that? Yeah, I know. I remember Oni-san. I remember it. Thank you, though. But how did Higurashi ruin your life? Because Higurashi, I love Higurashi. It's one of my favorite anime out there. Florian, I believe that No Game, No Life will actually have a second season only if the movie does very well in Japan. Because if the movie does really well and it sells really well, they will want to make a second season because they will show that it still has this kind of lifeline. But if it doesn't do well, it will never happen, unfortunately. Do you think Real Life was worried about competition? That's why I dumped the whole series. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That's actually great kind of thought by it because, there was a lot of stuff coming out this season, of course. And that was just something that people were like, I don't know if we want to if we're going to compare to these other anime, we're going to have an issue. So I think that was a good idea, man. Yeah, that's probably why they did it. It's a good thought process behind it. Dude, I will eventually get to finishing Hunter x Hunter, but it probably won't be anytime soon, to be honest with you. Really will not be anytime soon. it's one of those shows that I like a lot. Like I could binge watch like several episodes a day, but honestly, it's just one of those shows that I kind of put off to the side after I binge watch like several episodes and kind of forget about it. It helps me get through it a little easier. Cammy, we don't talk about Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution in my mind doesn't exist. I'll be honest with you. I try to put that on my mind. I think Dragon Ball Evolution is like the stain of live action. It's so bad. That's what happens when you take a company though completely and don't go off of anything that the original author had for idea wise. Besides, the names of people and stuff like that. They ruined everyone in the show. That's even possible. You didn't have to actually retract your. I was only joking, but all right, thank you. Oh, it was the first anime you watched because it was very bloody. Ah, okay, that's understandable. It's understandable. I mean, honestly, I think it's the concepts of it are really cool, though. Yes. Yeah, everyone tells me the last parts of Hunter x Hunter are like the best parts. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Your first horror, really? Only was your first horror anime? Oh shit. No, there wasn't. I don't even know if I consider another horror master sometimes though. Well, no, yeah, right, yeah, okay, made by Madhouse. I don't know, man. That'd be very interesting. Yeah, another is a lot softer than Higurashi. Higurashi is considered one of those. If you want another thing like Higurashi, watch Umineko. I talked about that at the beginning of the stream, but honestly, Umineko is dark. It is. All right, folks. I'm actually going to probably cut this off in like 10 minutes, not even. So if you have any last questions, if you have any last topics, I will do maybe one or two more, and then I'll probably shut it down because I mean it's not that you guys aren't doing topics, but it's more so I'm running out of voice. Like if you guys can't hear it, my voice is completely getting shot. But also because it is kind of late, and I know a lot of people are staying up past their like sleep times that they should really go to sleep. Like Oni-san, go to sleep. It's not a big deal. You're awake 2 o'clock in the morning. I appreciate you being there, but it's not you have to. I do appreciate though. I appreciate all. I'll be honest with you guys and girls. I'm gonna say it probably at the end of this again. I appreciate all of you for being here. It's really awesome. You guys made this so great. I'm definitely gonna do another one, probably for 100. Why does Madhouse make such great anime but rarely do second seasons? Madhouse, there is a kind of let me know has one of the kind of concepts for it. A lot of times they don't want to do a second season because it's not worth it. And because a lot of times second seasons do not live up to the hype of the first season, of course. So there's a lot of times where, a company will not do a second season because it's a risk and it's a lot of money that you have to invest into another one. Because, here's the thing. The first season, say you use a series, and we'll just go a lowball number. If you spend on a series $100,000 in the first season, your second season, for the first season did really well, you're going to have to spend more money on the second one. So you have to spend like $500,000, we'll say right there. And these are lowball numbers. I'm just making up numbers off the top of my head. You'll have to spend a lot more money. And because of that, it's a risk that it doesn't do as well, which a lot of times second seasons do not. And Madhouse spends a lot of money on their first seasons. That's why they're kind of iffy about it. Florian's got a point. You build a fan base, but now, what it is that the fan base is not sometimes enough to hold a series in terms of money. I hate to say it, but everything is money. So when will you, Blake, get enough time to see my recommendation? Dude, you know what? How about this? I will try to watch it this weekend. I really will, because you keep talking about it and it makes me want to see it. But on the flip end, I'm always kind of hesitant to watch stuff that people talk about, that when they keep pushing anime on me, because I'm thinking in my head it's gonna be great, and then it's kind of like, oh, when we can hear from my sponsor. Oh yeah, Barnes and Noble is my sponsor. Well, Barnes and Noble is where you can get all your manga and anime needs. That is no, you cannot. Barnes and Noble is awesome though. I mean, if they sponsor me, I'd be happy to sell it because I love Barnes and Nobles. I really do, but I highly doubt they will ever sponsor a channel like mine. I mean, maybe if I get like super popular and I'll ask them on the side. I'll be like, hey, listen, you give me like a couple dollars a month, I'll sponsor you for free. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream in 5 minutes, everyone. So if you have one last topic, it's essentially whoever writes the last topic gets my last like attention, and I'm gonna end the series on thank yous and all that other stuff. Garou, I hear, is so good. I really do. And the thing is, it's scary because I hear that the live action is a lot better than the actual anime these days, though. What anime do you think could be a train wreck at the end of the season? Oh boy. Let me actually, you know what? For that question, now I'm gonna make you. Let me know you got the last one. So I'm actually gonna look at any chart real fast because I'm actually on my phone right next to me. I'm gonna look up all the stuff that I've seen this season so far, and I want to see what I think could be. By the way, I appreciate the nose, but my voice is really bad. Like I am having problems even talking. Um, Train wreck wise, train wreck. Well, Berserk's already being a train wreck, and that just started. Um, that's messed up. I like Berserk. I keep telling people I like Berserk, but it is a train wreck already to begin with, the honest truth of how much people hate it. Um, Alderman is one of those shows that I'm kind of iffy about. I have to see how Alderman keeps going. Like, I really think Alderman can be really good, but Alderman has a kind of ability to be really bad. It really does. Soma's doing good. Taboo Tattoo is another one that could be a kind of train wreck. Because Taboo Tattoo, I hear is going to get better, but I don't see that yet. I really don't. I don't see that as a thing. Tales of Zestiria, I'm not worried about because Tales of Zestiria should be good. Yeah, only those shows. I think that only those will be the kind of wreck. Banana, I don't consider Banana a wreck. I'll consider that a good thing. I tell people, by the way, a lot of people, just real fast, a lot of people hate Banyan. I'm like, dude, that was made for like kids. Like, it's cute, but it's made for kids. So I don't know why, it's good. Like, people expect that to be so great. I really don't understand that. Like, I like it, but it's not really, it's never going to be super good. School Days is not my favorite anime. That's a lie. Yeah, I do like School Days a lot, though. Yeah, I like Banana. I think it's cute. I really like. I am not afraid to say that Banana is cute. I watched the last episode. I thought it was cute watching him look at the TV and seeing the TV change channels and then going, wow, what the hell? You didn't understand what the channels were changing, and it was actually Baby Banana doing it. I think it's cute. I mean, do I take it seriously? No, because I'm not a 2-year-old kid and I'm not 7. But it's a cute little anime. It's not a big deal. All right, folks, I am going to end it because my voice is completely shot. Listen, guys and girls, you don't know how grateful I am that you guys showed up. I appreciate all of you showing up. You guys made this so much fun. I hopefully got to all your comments. If I did not, I apologize. There were so many good comments, so many good topics. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hey, listen, share the video if you actually did like this a lot, because what it'll help me do is it'll help me kind of gauge how many views later on. If you guys want to see me do this for another, like maybe the 100th, the anime talk, or maybe do another kind of one. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to probably do a live stream for 500. I'm thinking about doing that. I'm not 100% sure, but I might. Yep, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.